Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at my top 3 vintage lenses for the Micro Four Thirds system. Let's dive right into it. And I cannot begin this video by not speaking about the legend, the king of all kings. This is the Helios 44-2, 58mm f2 lens. This was the most mass-produced lens back in its time. It is a Soviet design, but it was a copy of a Carl Zeiss lens back in the day. I believe this is a World War II or a pre-World War II design. Crazy. Now, here are some photo examples that were taken with the Helios on the GX80 at f2. This lens in particular is out of the 3 lenses that we're speaking about today, this is the sharpest at f2. Whenever I was using it, I was always using it at f2, both for photo and for video work. And as you can see, the sharpness here is more than adequate. You have obviously 116mm with the Micro Four Thirds crop. And you still get this beautiful swirly bokeh in the background, which looks absolutely incredible, particularly when you have the urban street lights in the back. That really makes the effects profound and just really cool. No other lens can really produce that same effect. This here is a video test. This was handheld, shot on the Panasonic GH5. Again at f2, again produces a very beautiful filmic look directly from the camera with minimal kind of grading and coloring required. Again, sharpness is more than adequate. I use this lens with a ND filter. It's got a 49mm filter thread. And for portraiture work, again, very beautiful. And, you know, these lenses are all that we're speaking about today are quite budget friendly. Next, we have the Jupiter 8. This is a 50mm f2. Now, contrary to the Helios, this one is not as sharp at f2. I would not recommend you use this lens at its widest aperture. Whenever I use the Jupiter, I always stop it down to f2.8. But what I love about this lens is that it's absolutely tiny. Like the Helios isn't a big lens, but the adapter makes it quite big and chunky. This lens, on the other hand, the adapter ring is tiny, and overall the size will be like the same as the Olympus 45mm f1.8. Here are some video examples. Notice the lights in the background. Now, I'm applying a color grade here, but notice the lights in the background. It's got this beautiful natural halation effect. People nowadays are buying like crazy expensive lenses and also putting like cine bloom filters on the front element to make this kind of dreamy halation effect. These Jupiter lenses and the vintage lenses in general, they will give you this natural filmic halation straight out of the camera with like no additional accessories, which is really cool. And, you know, again, we're talking about the price here for the Jupiter between, you know, 30 and maybe 60 US dollars. This here is the Jupiter 11. This is, again, another copy of a German, I think this is a pre-World War II design, 135mm f4, full metal, quite chunky. It's interesting because this lens, obviously, with the crop 270mm, if my math is correct. Yeah, I think that's correct. You get this crazy compression, but then even at f4, the background is still quite blurry, not to the degree that you can't tell what the background is, but because of the compression, it makes this really cool effect that you can't really tell where your subject is. It's, you know, naturally comes out really dreamy, really interesting, you know, and again, we're talking about like playing around and experimenting with super telephoto lens here for a minimal amount of money, you know, because these lenses are still fairly budget friendly. These are some photo examples, and again, you know, the way that the background melts away and it's so compressed, really cool effect. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe, check me out on Instagram. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.